Hey everyone, welcome back to the Eastern Front. Today we're doing an in-depth tactical guide on the Soviet anti-tank platoons. That means at the end of this video, you'll understand how to effectively employ this weapon system, the combat effective range, and how to destroy German Panzer IVs or other light armored vehicles with this system. But before we get started, if you like military strategy, tactics, and doctrine and seeing it applied to strategy games, this is definitely the channel for you, so make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the community tab for after video discussions and head on over to the Patreon for after action reports that are absolutely free. So let's dive into this video. Here we have a Soviet soldier carrying our PTRD anti-tank rifle. This rifle has two different types of ammunition. It has armor piercing and it has armor piercing composite rounds. You need to understand the difference between those two types of munitions because they penetrate German armor at different ranges. So if we hover over this ammo icon up in the top left corner, you can see that we're looking for the 14.5, so let's select our rifle platoon, hover over this ammo icon, and here we have the 14.5 millimeter PTRD single shot weapon. That is different than the PTRS, which is semi-automatic. So we need to understand that this weapon system fires at a very slow rate of fire. So this means this unit is vulnerable between shots and could effectively be destroyed by the tanks because he is very close when operating. All right. So we can see that he has armor-piercing rounds, 57 of them, and he has armor-piercing composite rounds. The armor-piercing rounds will effectively penetrate German armor up to 320 meters, at least on early pre-war Panzer IVs. The armor-piercing composite rounds are going to pierce German armor up to 1,000 meters only on the flanks. Both types of ammunition will only penetrate the flanks of the German Panzer IVs, not the front armor. That means you need to move this unit. So if we hit Control Backspace, make everything go away, hit Tab, zoom out, we can see that our units are currently deployed in this village. We also have T-34s. I'll explain the purpose of the T-34s here in a moment. But these units are going to covertly move through this village, maintaining cover so they can get on the flanks of the German Panzer IVs over here that are currently over here on this battlefield. This is how you're going to always use this weapon system. Either the German tanks are going to stumble into your position, or you're going to use this combined arms approach to get this unit into the vicinity of the German tanks to destroy them. That means you need to have a decent combined arms support. So we have Soviet T-34s on the back line, which are going to launch an offensive to distract the German tanks. So our anti-tank rifle teams and our sappers can get into position to deploy their anti-tank grenades and utilize their PTRDs. So if we hit start, we start the battle, our teams are going to begin moving out. We're going to follow our anti-tank rifle teams into position, and then we're going to use set priority target to destroy any German tanks that come across our view. One thing to make note of is these weapon systems require a lot of time to set up, which means you'll be putting rounds into these German tanks. You'll put a lot of 14.5 millimeter rounds into German tanks. I mean, they'll look like little porcupines at the end of the video. So if you're not putting rounds into German tanks, you're not going to have a good time. So you always need to make sure you have a good, decent combined arms assault. These units require a lot of fire support, and they're more of a force multiplier. They are not an individual operator. As you can see, we identified our first German tanks. These units need to be in position so they can begin destroying these German tanks before the German tanks destroy all our T-34s. Because if all our T-34s become combat ineffective, they will begin raining fire down onto our flanking platoons. As you can see, we're attempting to get on the flanks of these German Panzer IVs early war because they have thin armor. Once our units are in position, we are going to, hopefully we don't wander into the road. All right, good. They're crossing the fence as a smart person would. We'll send our sappers over to this tree line right here, which is exactly what they're doing. Once in this tree line, they'll take care of that German Panzer IV. Let's click on our units. Once we have visual confirmation that this tank exists, we'll use set priority target and we will destroy this tank with lots of fire and lots of hate. So our anti-tank rifle platoons continue to move her in position. Once we have visual confirmation, there we go. It's time to click on set priority target, and we're going to focus down one tank at a time. All right, as you can see, units will begin engaging this unit. So let's follow up with our 14.5. Let's go follow up with our guns, see what they can see. Here's one currently laying prone. I'm not sure if he's engaging or if he's going to move up. I wonder if he can shoot through that fence. As you can see, single shot, round out, shoot, move, continues to move, vaults the fence, and continues to get on the flank of this German tank. I'm not sure why our commander is engaging the tank with his pistol, but, you know, he's a commander. He knows what he's doing. All right. There we go. Continues to put rounds out. Our first T-34 is down, which is unfortunate. All right, another round out, another T-34 down. These units really need to get into position. One thing we're going to make note of is we're going to click on our penetration diagram right now so we can see the graph. So we click this right here. You can see that right here at 296 meters with this red dot, our 14.5 millimeter rounds are going to penetrate the flank of this tank. As you can see, there's rounds exploding, armor penetration is happening, and composite rounds are going to penetrate this armor. The side is this blue line. Anything above this dashed line, nothing is going to penetrate it. So right here at this range, we are going to destroy this unit. So around 100 meters is where this weapon system is super combat effective. After 100 meters, it starts to fall off, and at 320 meters, it's going to fall off completely. Looks like this hatches are open on this vehicle, which means it's possibly been abandoned. So that means we need to move on to our next target. Here we have a German Panzer IV out here in the open. Let's click on our units. See if we can destroy this tank right there. All right, we continue to move up. Our sappers are moving up on the flank of this German right here. This Panzer IV. Once in position, we're going to launch an attack. All right, and what our sappers are going to do is they're going to destroy this German Panzer IV with their anti-tank grenades. As you can see, we may be able to use our rifle platoons to destroy this unit. We don't really have any visual confirmation. I wonder if we can hit the flank of this unit. Let's see what we can do. No one has line of sight. As you can see, that box didn't fill up, so no one can see this tank over here. So if we grab this one right here, let's see if we can get penetration. Actually, that one's retreating. All right, orange line. Let's see if he puts some rounds into this tank with his anti-tank rifle, 14.5 millimeter. Stop. All right, this unit's putting smoke out. Ideally, we don't really want to expose ourselves, right? We don't want our units coming out of the tree line and exposing themselves to these German tanks because they'll be mowed down by machine gun fire or high explosive rounds. So we're just going to continue to operate in a cautious manner to get line of sight on these vehicles, one, to destroy them, and two, penetrate their armor, and just continue to operate. As you can see, the side hatches are now open on this German tank, which means it's possibly been abandoned. Now we're going to continue to effectively employ our anti-tank rifle platoons by selecting this last German tank right here. Set him as a priority target. Someone has line of sight on him, and hopefully we can begin putting 14.5 millimeter rounds into the flank of this vehicle. This unit's well within our combat effective range of 320 meters, so our armor-piercing rounds from our PTRDs should perform quite well. Our sappers continue to move up. So realistically, it's going to come down to who's going to destroy this tank first. Will it be our sappers with their high explosive grenades and anti-tank grenades, or will it be the T-34s along the back line with their 45 millimeter cannons, or will our anti-tank rifle platoons conduct a successful flank and destroy this German Panzer? The world's our oyster. Let's see how we're going to do. We may need to maneuver these units up a bit further. Let's see what we see. All right, here we have several 14.5 millimeter guns engaging that Panzer. I'm not sure if he has line of sight on him, but he's definitely prone and looking. Let's see. I don't think anyone's out of ammo. No one's flashing gray, but they do have set priority target. They may not be able to see him. All right, sappers are in position. We should start seeing grenades flying soon. All right. And there was a catastrophic explosion. Looks like that T-34 made work of that last German Panzer IV. Early war, remember? These are early war Panzer IVs, so their flank armor is definitely weak. So we're going to click that ceasefire option, and then we're going to look at our graph because I want you to see how the 14.5 millimeter rounds penetrate the German armor. So you can see like different types of... So ideally, like this is like an extremely unsuccessful combined arms operation. I did try and tilt everything into our favor. I tried to give the Germans a bit more an advantage so our anti-tank rifle platoons could do a lot of work. The tank crews are looking to launch a counteroffensive right there as they retreat. Our sappers are going to make short work of there, and this unit's completely lost contact from everyone. So there are some units out here in the open. There is a German tank that's been identified right here. I'm not sure why no one can see him. And Germans in the background. I really want you to guys to check out this last bit of this video because you're going to see the 14.5 millimeter penetration on these German tanks, as well as the 45s and possible hand grenades, RPGs, things like that. And it's good after action report, and you'll see how we effectively employed these units and why they're so effective on the battlefield. But they need to be used against the right weapon system, which is light German tanks with weak armor and their recon vehicles. So let's take a look at this unit right here. Looks like the only penetration for some reason is the turret. Click this. And click this. All right. 762. Here's all our 14.5s. Ideally, not much. Unfortunately, no penetration on this vehicle, which is unfortunate. As you can see, 14.5 struck. All our rounds hit. They definitely did damage to those tracks, but unfortunately, they did not hit their intended target. All right. Did we ever put any rounds into this? All right, right here. Unfortunate. Still no penetration with these units. 14.5, 14.5. Struck, but no penetration. Definitely put a lot of pressure on this unit. I don't think we hit any of these units with our 14.5 millimeter guns, but I ran this video a bunch of times, and ideally the anti-tank rifle platoons will penetrate this armor with enough time and enough rounds. They're going to quite easily destroy these vehicles because I've done that several times in this video. I just want it to be viewable. Then right here, oh, here we go. Broken. So if we click this right here, we have one penetration. 14.5 millimeter went through this tank. So one of our units did have a successful penetration and could have caused significant casualties in this Panzer IV. So that is how to employ this weapon system. Let me know if you enjoyed this video or if it's your kind of video. Peace out, guys.